do you think about pivots, transitioning and all of that?
Can you expatiate on that?
So you've tried something for some time and it's not working as you would have expected. I think I've answered the question before. Rather than push it aside, how do you manage the process of building on the foundation and doing something a bit entirely different? In some cases, it might just be an entirely different sector or might just be an improvement. So how do you manage that process in transitioning just by the experience of you not having the best of what you already do?
In terms of competence?
For instance, you did entertainment. I guess in those cases, you should just shut down the company. How would you advise you leverage on what you've achieved in entertainment for the next thing, rather than total shutdown?
Well, I would say...
For instance, a better example, during COVID, the box office hub had zero revenue because, you guys couldn't come to work. So how would you have advised box office hub, for instance, transition into something else? If you get my point. If COVID lockdown was forever. And I'm sure a lot of businesses, would have done that process. So
yes. So your question is basically in terms of still continuing what you're doing, but maybe the circumstance of life, like how COVID happened, actually continuing with it.
Yes.
Well, it's all about platform now, I think, or the means of actually achieving your how. Okay. So for you now, how box office existed, your how was actually in person, meaning your customers have to come to your physical space, right? But platforms change. This is just a platform for us to actually run our businesses.
Definitely.
And what happened during COVID was that the platform changed, but you were still box office. So the platform moved digitally, right?
Great.
So it's more of, I think, finding the means to actually achieve the how. Yes.
Great.
But it depends on the sector, actually, I think. Maybe some sectors, you probably won't be able to have an alternative platform to actually still achieve whatever you need to do in terms of your operations. So pivot depends on platform or means of actually implementing your own ideas, I think. So, except if, I don't know, we have many entrepreneurs here. I don't know if there was anybody who has actually experienced a situation where, as Doyin said, the platform, the current platform, the ideal platform that they are existing in changed, and they couldn't find another platform to leverage on or to pivot on, So that it will be on a case-by-case basis, I think. But it's important, I think, maybe this is why it's good to have multiple platforms. Okay. For now, you have multiple platforms as far as box office is concerned, but probably needed to happen for you to then expand your different platforms, right? So if one is harmed, another one is actually available for you to still implement your own idea.
So my last question, before my last question, why do you think that the value of ideas in Nigeria or in Africa is very low compared to developed countries? For instance, you could sell ideas abroad easily just by a patent. You think about something really innovative, and you find people are able to. But in Nigeria, if you don't have collateral, you don't have the land, then you're nothing. Even after running your business for 5-7 years, I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. Like Tongston, for instance. If you took Tongston brand to the bank and they tell you, where's your land? Where's your house? So why is that in this environment? I hear they say I dime a dozen, but I still think that in some cases that might not be totally true. You understand? Why do we have that experience in Nigeria?
I think maybe it's two things. And we have faced it too with Tongston, which is the first reason is actually, I think, I don't know whether I should say colonial mentality. I give you the example of how many times when I go to pitch or try to sell the idea of Tongston, one of the questions that are raised, especially from the people in the public sector, they're always asking, okay, what country is this coming from? Is it UK and America and all of that? So sometimes they almost feel, which is something that needs to change actually, we can't create our own ideas. We can create our own solutions to whatever challenges that we're facing on the continent. But unfortunately, these guys, whether it's at the public sector level or even just around you, that don't believe or don't want to actually support your idea, they think unless it comes from abroad or unless there is a white skin tied to it, you know. You see how some people, when they are marketing, they put the principal is a white man and everything. But it's just to actually kind of add credibility to it. So people actually believe in this continent that unless an idea is coming from abroad, this is why I said colonial mentality, I think. I don't use the other harsh word, slave mentality. Unless it really comes from there, then it's not a credible idea. Unfortunately, we see it that way. Even I do that sometimes to a certain extent. So that is one reason. The other reason is actually tied to it, but people don't actually believe in those ideas, which is why, to a certain extent, it's important that you do the creation before you even sell it.
So what are your final words? I'm sure some people still have questions for you, but in respect to the ideation process, brainstorming, finding ideas that are worth pursuing, not just worth sharing. What are your final words?
Final words as far as the ideation is concerned is something called reverse engineering, which is that while you are thinking of the idea, as far as the concept is there in your mind, you should think of the selling before you even do the creating. Because at the end of the day, you will end up selling. You will have to be put in a position where you need to sell this idea to somebody. So if you think of the selling and you reverse engineer to what are the obstacles that that person will put in front of you, or what are the objections the prospect will say, or which you then won't be able to do the transaction. What are the different modes of usually I like tying marketing and sales together. What are the different means of actually how to reach that potential customer or prospect? If you really think of all of that, then it's better to actually it helps you to better refine what your idea is. So that's why I said reverse engineering. While you're thinking of the idea, you're thinking of the selling. Because if you know really what sort of challenges of you selling the idea would come, then it will have your creation process. So that is the best idea I can give you actually. And as much as possible, also master the selling, the act of selling. Think of all the objections. It's too expensive. I need to talk to my wife first.
I get that a lot.
What is another common objection? Now is not the time, or later, or I have another vendor, I have another option.
I'll get back to you.
Yes, or just the silent, the almost, and everyone is okay. Just you don't hear anything. There's no objection. Just okay, I've heard you, and that's it. So if you know all those objections, whatever you're selling, it will help your creation process. So that is the best advice, and it has helped me also actually. Sometimes even if you don't really do that method of reverse engineering, thinking of the selling first, what will happen is that you waste time actually doing the creating. By the time you come to sell, then you realize, I didn't think of this, I didn't think of that. Then you have to go back and waste more time to then recreate and then come back to this person. But by the time you come back, he's not there anymore, or somebody else has actually sold in that same idea or concept, or solution. So that is the